So on behalf of the Prince Publication and Vivekananda International Foundation, I welcome you all here at the stall of the Prince Publication at the New Delhi World Book Fair. It gives me great pleasure and joy to we have leading intellectual personalities here with us. We have Dr. Arvind Gupta, who is the director of the Vivekananda International Foundation. We have Professor Lieutenant General R.K. Sahni ji, a very distinguished member of the National Security. We have Professor Sudhir Dattai, who is the editor of the National Security and fellow with the Vivekananda International Foundation. So, as you all know, Prince Publication has been into publishing of academic books and reference books, and recently ventured into children books and entertainment business. Our collaboration goes back with Vivekananda Foundation from last 7-8 years, where we started publishing their flagship journal called National Security. It's a quarterly journal on international studies and international scientific affairs. And apart from publishing the journal, we have done a couple of books with them as well with the foundation. And foundation has published on its own many other books on their own or in collaboration with some other private publishers as well. So we would like to hear about from Dr. Gupta about what's the vision and mission of the VIF and how does as a think tank they operate and what's their public policy work majorly they do. And then we would like to have few comments from Lieutenant General R.K. Sahni ji. And Professor Datta, I would specifically request the aim and objective behind the intent behind the national security journal.
I think that would be beneficial for all of them.
Namaskar,
One
and
question.
a very good
Given a
morning to all
choice
of you.
between writing
Thank you,
poetry
Pranam ji,
and
for inviting us to your
job
stall
and
at the
that feeds your
New Delhi
what would you
World Book
choose?
Fair. This is one place that I have been visiting as a childhood, from my childhood. And since then, it has really expanded and
Hypothetically,
become
poetry
very,
earns
very
you as
beautiful.
much.
But it's always a great pleasure to come here and be among the books and book lovers. And before we came here, we went around and saw a few stalls. I must say that Indian book publishing has really come of age. Really interesting standards. It's very heartening to see that thousands upon thousands of volumes are published every year, probably lakhs, I would say. You mentioned that there are about 24,000 Indian publishers. And it's really a curiosity that in the digital age, how are we seeing the publishing industry is sustaining itself. And quite clearly there is still interest in reading and writing, and this is very well reflected in the world. British publication. We are very happy of having discovered you some years ago.
That 12-inch screen, a soft lover, the
Journal
iPad.
for the last 7-8 years now. And
Should I press the
I think we have learned a lot
The Wi-Fi
in
signal
terms of
going and coming like a heartbeat.
the content, etc.
Should I press
responsible
tab,
for the content.
space, or just an image?
Editing, you are
The movement
responsible
of
for.
fingers subtle
And I
yet
think this
fast.
has
A
worked
secret
very
ritual waiting
And,
on
the
a chat window. That window, a precious heaven,
And,
like a desperate seeker in love for an answer from her. Those emails, a script of longing, with no rules of combination.
before
Fatigued,
that,
yet he dives into type again.
Professor
Unrestrained,
and
phonetics,
experience
verbs,
of
words, a luminous love.
editing
hope.
the IDSA's Journal Strategic Analysis.
She
And
dances
we
with her
thought that
ankles.
as a
The
think tank,
screen bemused on
VIF
the
should also
internet
have a
enthralled.
and
Miles
this,
apart,
I
the
think, the form
romance,
of eight
moment,
established
ever
very
conscious,
well.
ever free, even
Academy.
through the router,
And
and
you
offering romance, even more.
have mentioned about VIF and its activities. The Vivekananda International Foundation is an independent think tank which was established in founder is Mr. Guru also. Mr. Owen, who is presenting NSA, he had that.
Well, love is such a thing
He
which
was the
is
first director,
unsaid.
followed by General N.C. Vij, former army chief, he was the
Yes,
second
you're right.
director,
There are
and
many,
they
many
set the
things
foundation
that
for
are
the
unsaid.
UIF. But
And
we have been
it's a beautiful
blessed with
emotion, which I feel
very strong
has been captured over
mentorship
centuries, even in our
from Vivekananda
Indian
Kendra,
culture, to visit
which is,
Khajuraho temple.
as you know,
So I took,
very dedicated
like, there was a,
an
when I
institution
saw this sculpture, I felt
dedicated to
complete.
social
Yet I
service,
had questions
upliftment of
about
India,
not
promoting
purely about the
civilization values,
sculpture, but
and they
about
are
the
based in
emotion, about what it was portraying.
Kanyakumari.
So
And
there is a gap which
they are also
I am
the ones who are looking after the national monument, the Vivekananda, the rock memorial. And so they decided to set up the Vivekananda International Foundation at one point of time. And so VIF came into being in 2009. Our objective is really to position India as a civilization state, to look at India's issues that we deal with are essentially national security, international relations, essentially all the strategic issues. But what distinguishes us from probably other think tanks is that we are also very committed to Indian civilization values, and also trying to examine and understand the contemporary relevance of India's civilizational values and how they are relevant today in shaping of India. So for us, India first is our motto, and when we talk about India first, but we are quite aware of India as a rising state and India's responsibility to the world for global peace and stability. So we also promote the idea of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, which is a framework for the new world order. And it is in this general framework that we look at the hardcore issues of national security, which should be right and left, and many issues are devoted to some specific topics and themes. We are very keen to engage with the young people, to interact with the young people, and to inculcate them in a respect for India's culture and India's civilization, which, as you know, is an inclusive civilization characterized by tolerance and accommodation. And these are the values that we are very much relevant with. We have, in our name, Vivekananda is reflected, Vivekananda's values are reflected, and Vivekananda was really the harbinger of Renaissance of India, and that Renaissance which was rooted in India's culture and civilization. But Vivekananda was also very much a believer in the youth power and in character building, in man building. So we take those values and bring them into our study of international relations and of national issues, which national security is very important. So this is basically broadly the motivation. And being international, we have a very vast network of MOUs and cooperation agreements with a number of international institutions, our counterparts, treaties, etc. In addition, we also link up with a number of universities and other institutions within the country who are working in this area.
Yeah, and there are actually not one, many authors whose work I read, to give economics. So I read Deepak Chopra, I read Eckhart Tolle, and I actually have absorbed it.
Okay, I think
I listen to a lot of
thank you so much.
podcasts on YouTube,
And
and
the publisher actually,
much more insight
as the director has said,
that is there
whatever
out
since
there
our
beyond
inception,
the realm of
we found that if we want to communicate our ideas, our thought processes to the outside world, we require a journey where we will be printing our thoughts for the people outside the organization to be.
Friends, I would like to read a start
An
quote
idea
from my book Soul Whispers.
online
Soul Whispers.
magazine.
Amid these screeching noises of the world that haunt me, my eyes blink as this heart listens to the soul whispers. Your soulless mind is drifting far away from my heart, and I feel affinity in those rushes that echo into
Gradually turned into a
when this
very
world jostles
professional.
me. I sway in the dark chasm
It turned into a
where
very
my dreams
professional
falls with all
journal.
those I lost in the past.
It was very
To the
seriously
tunes that
looking
my
at
soul
the
whispers
different
in
views that
melancholy
taken
eyes,
views from it.
as if they are cast under these stars. I
I
see my
must
eyes
tell you one
smile.
thing, the amount of
When
hard
the soul
work it
whispers,
goes into
new
this
dreams, serene and fresh, descend into my eyes, adorning them with their fragrance. I see evolved upon them the address of memory lane.
8 months
My
ahead.
soul whispers, I
Every
still linger
issue is
somewhere in
related
the
to
old
a lot
days.
of care. We
Through
take a
them,
theme,
now
and
they pick my
sometimes we
soul,
make a
they
journal.
also carry new
If you
fragrances,
take a theme,
which bring a smile
the
and
purpose
to
is
these eyes
better.
and dreams.
And that is
I
what
stroll
I
along the
most
promenade,
appreciate.
oblivious to
The
the
amount
staring
of
eyes,
dedication which is
following what
poured
my soul
and
whispers
effort
in my
put
eyes
put
from
by the
behind.
director
Thank you so
and
much.
the
And before we end this program, I
people
would like
who
to
have
ask Ms.
knowledge.
Leila Ahmadi to please give a quick short message to all of us about your journey in Asian Literary Society. And after that, we'll have a group photograph and we'll close this session.
knows the subject in depth and giving adequate notice. He's told as to what should be the contents of that normally, and he writes the book and then that is very already edited both by Dr. Gupta and Professor Gupta in a very, very elegant fashion. So when the article ultimately comes out, it has not only the content, the whole setup of the
Before my
article,
graduation from King George Medical College,
the
I had
language
learned
of article
one more
is
degree,
extremely
a
well
BSc
put
Chemistry
there.
honors
It
from
is edited and then it is printed. So I must say that it's a joint effort of the people,
Even so,
who
all I
give the
knew
idea,
about Sir Syed till
the people who
2002
translate those ideas
was
into
the fact
articles,
that he was the founder
and then
of
it is
that
edited, and after that
and that he
printed.
had one son by the name
So
of
all this
Justice
process
Nehru.
ultimately comes out to be
The only other thing
into a
beyond
magazine,
these
into a journal, which is a very
universal
serious
facts
journal.
sounded
I
to
feel
me as
most
an unfounded
serious
gossip.
thinker,
Yet
the
it was an
geostrategic against
interest
government
voting
field,
statement, and all this
can
got stacked
do
with
without
the fact
reading these articles.
most quarter
Comes
of
out once in a quarter, I wish it would
This
come
third
monthly.
point was
But the amount of,
that
I
the
just want to tell
Britishers
you the
during
amount of
his
hard work it
lifetime
goes.
had made
Starting
Sir
from the
Syed
time of
write
conception
a
of the
dying
article,
wish
then the
that
ideas as
after
to
his
what are the
demise,
ideas to be
the British
generated in that
government
article,
will take out
then the writing by the
pain
author,
from
editing by the
to
editing
do
staff,
research on it.
and not only
So
Dr.
overawed and
Gupta
baffled
himself
were
and
they
Professor
about
Gupta,
the
we
thought
got
process
a team
of
of young scholars, and I must
So when they
appreciate
came
each
to
one of
make
them,
their claim,
the amount of hard
Justice
work they put.
Mahmood sent them
And then
back
it is printed.
with his legal statement
Ultimately, what
that the
comes
right
out
on Sir
is the
Syed's
end
body
product.
during his lifetime was Sir Syed's
We can
own.
compare
But now it is
favorably
mine,
with any
and I
any
don't know
such
how you
magazine,
allow that.
regionally
When I
or
did
globally, and I
the
can tell you
reading
that,
for
because
writing
I
this
have
book,
read
I
locally
realized
magazines, I
how
have seen
very
their better.
probable
This is
the
second to
our
none.
story was.
And I must appreciate the publisher for it,
Almost all the
because
reference
the quality
material
of
for this
publisher
book was
this thing is absolutely par excellence. What pains me is
I'm not
that they
talking
have
about
not
it.
enough sales of this particular
Almost
magazine.
all the reference
There is a
material for the
requirement in my
book
view
was in
of
Urdu.
more
Although I
emphasis.
had later become a
There
little
is so much
more
of hard work being put, so
knowledgeable
much of
in the
diligence being
language
put
in
into
which I had never
making this
been
magazine
tutored.
the way it looks like.
My
And it
self-confidence
should not be
for
read
using it for
widely in
serious
the
prose
universe
writing
or
was
in the
justifiably
world
very
of all
low.
over is
But
something
I
which we
used to
have
attend
to,
the
we have to look
monthly
at it.
Urdu poetry meets
Because so
of
much of
Ghalib
effort
Academy
being
Nizam
wasted actually if it is
since
not.
2017.
So I would
Coming to attend them
definitely
from
like to say
Gurgaon
this,
for almost
that
1
the
year
end
from
product
April
which has got
2016
so
to
much of
April
effort in it,
2018. I was staying in
we
Gurgaon
also
as
make
my
sure
40-year-old
in the later
parental house. In the
publication
same contest
our
of Urdu
ideas
poetry and Ghalib, I happened
in a
present
fashion
an annual Kalyan
which are
Memorial
very
Lecture at
sophisticated,
Kalyan Institute near
but also very
IQ.
sober.
There they were having a few
We
publishers'
don't rave
stalls
of
for
that,
Urdu books
but
sales.
when we say
I picked
something,
up
we say it in
4
a
to 5
very,
thin,
very
easily
thoughtful
readable
item. But in the
monographs of
language
writers. One of them was Sir
which
Syed
is
Ahmed.
acceptable across the spectrum. We have ideas of people who understand the geopolitics, geoeconomics, and we also get the people who are practitioners. For example, if somebody writes on a geostrategic issue, then he must have had some experience in it. Majority of the people in the BIS have got about at least 30-40 years service in their retire. I'm talking about the distinguished fellows and the people who are working with the honorary position. But then again, our scholars, each one of our scholars, I can tell you that, even at a very young age, continue studying his particular subject so diligently that when they come out and write articles on the subject, it is worth reading. And I can tell you, basically, I myself, I'm going to, I get bored if I start reading something which is not up to the mark. But these are the articles you really genuinely feel like reading. So what pains me is that with so much of effort done by the author, by the editor, by the people who conceive it, by the printers, the end product the way it is, if it is not getting the true, what you call respect in the sense, because people should be reading it. I'm not talking about the sales one. I am very much confident that most of the universities, most of the colleges should be having a that is what ultimately I would say that, and I would very strongly recommend to the printers that we should adopt this policy as some sort of a way of doing it, that more and more people should be reading this, because otherwise this colossal effort, what is absolutely, I would call it a world-class magazine, not getting it into something strange. Thank you.
Thank you very much for organizing this meeting, and
Thanks again to all the
I'm
stakeholders.
very happy
And
that
now we are closing
print
this
publication is doing so well, bringing out many journals, also the number of books it's publishing, and the quality overall seems to be rising in our publishing industry. National Security is a very important publication of the print publishers, and is a product of our joint work. When we started this, it was seen, it was discussed carefully how to pitch it, and we have identified that in keeping with our overall vision of a unified system in which all elements of humanity and human activity as well as the natural landscape are intertwined and integrated. Security must have a much broader meaning than normally understood in terms of military affairs or hard power, etc. So, from the very beginning, national security has had a comprehensive view of national security, and which is located in wider geopolitical issues as well as issues relating to climate change, environment, ecology, culture and civilization, history, as these subjects are deeply related to policy making in our country. You can all see in the recent statements by the Prime Minister about overcoming historical legacies in our thinking and how British policies are even today affecting the way we look at our history and culture, and how our language policies, etc., have been deeply affected by these factors. We have this, in this journal, for example, a very important article which looks at history writing by Kamlesh Bajaj, one of our scholars. He's from the scientific mainstream, and he reflects on how history writing in our country for over a long time so affected our overall interpretation of Indian national life and our experiences that people have today lost confidence in many of our past achievements. And so the achievements have been pushed aside, sent into the background, while the defeats, the failures, or the inabilities or shortcomings have come to the fore. And that creates a very negative view among our youth in particular regarding what is possible and what is not possible. And this then deeply helps the international system or the foreign powers, etc., to shape their own narratives and prevail on our mindset. So I think even a subject like history writing can have deep national security consequences. If you all read Kamlesh Bajaj's paper, those are revealing ideas. We also linked our journal to this larger effort that BIF is doing in exploring our history in a proper nationalist objective manner, reopening areas that were not discussed or well researched. So these things are coming to fore. And you know, this is a 13-volume study of India's ancient history that BIF initiated some years ago. Those 13 volumes have been edited under the able leadership of Professor Dilip Chakrabarty, one of the great leaders of national, the archaeological movement in India, and his extremely pioneering work in many directions. He's an internationally famous archaeologist and historian, and his volumes have come out, which I hope the university system and all of you who are interested in history get to read. Dilip Chakrabarty has a contribution this year discussing those volumes. So they really bring value addition to our knowledge and thought processes. So I think for students, youngsters, the corporate sector, policymakers, this is an ideal journey. In fact, it really fills a vacuum in the academic, policymaking, readership world where such a journal doesn't exist at this time. This is a unique journal. And we are very happy to say that in terms of its expanse, it has gone very well, and we have been able to link together various aspects of our life and activity in both with the policy world as well as the thinking, writing world, and make it a relevant journey. What else can I say? I would only like to say that this journal needs to reach much larger audiences, because the more people read it, they will value it. And I think new avenues and new mindsets will open up, questionings will start, and greater research on many aspects of our history, culture, politics, and how to build a new India that really stands up and takes its place among the leading countries of the world, shapes the narratives and agendas of the world, shapes the international institutions that is still now been dominated by the West, and bring about a dramatic, dynamic change that will not only help India, but it will also help many of the other developing countries that look upon India and its experience as a role model, as a way by which they too can achieve their own destinies. So I think national security has a very important role to play. We are trying our best to put out some of the best writers in the field, the most learned people who have got the right expertise to come and write for us. We put it out with great effort so that others can read it. I encourage all of you to read it and also let others know that national security is here and it is part of the wider effort to transform India at a rapid pace. Thank you very much.
So we'll open the forum for any questions we have.
Sir, I have two questions. My first question is, what is the difference between a journal and a magazine, and what is the role of journals in academics, and how does your journal, contribute to the academic discourse? My second question. One assumes that writing is the more tougher process, but what exactly is entailed in editing? And from your editing experience, what do you have, as takeaways for the writers?
Prerna Gandhi is a young scholar, very bright, and she was asked some two very pertinent questions relating to journal publication and what it means to bring out a journal. First, journal is a combination of the way national security is initiated, the combination of some amount of essay writing, which normally would figure in a magazine, but it also has a significant amount of well-researched articles, which are also powerful. So it is that segment that really goes into the academic side of it. So those who want to publish an academic or research article, opening up new avenues of thinking, new original work, new research, and use it. At the same time, you also have a mix of policy briefs, which are very sound study of a particular field, and in a scientific manner put out both its analysis and its conclusions and recommendations, so which is relevant for the policymakers. So our journal is not essentially meant for the academics. It's meant for a variety of readership, with the policy-making community as a major focus. So academics that serves policy-making is one of the aims of even the research section. So that's basically, so the magazine Rodney is a much lighter read, more essay-oriented, commentary-oriented, while our journal has got both these flavors together. We also have a very interesting book review section, where the major works in our field, in multiple areas of our concern, are reviewed by experts themselves. So that also brings great value to this journal. As far as my experience regarding what the author brings to the table, and what the editor has to do and the editor and his team has to do. The editorial team is absolutely crucial for the final product. It's absolutely crucial. Sometimes very poor articles, very poorly written articles, where ideas are not well developed, arguments are not well tested, references are very weak, sourcing is not proper, and a balanced position where the other arguments are not assessed, are not done, are sent back to the author repeatedly. And sometimes we have to write it ourselves and to make it a well-balanced piece. So, the authors are very happy with it. And so far we have had normally authors who deeply appreciate the work. So I think the authors themselves will appreciate what the editorial team has done to their final publication, and it brings value to it. Without the editorial team and editors' work, this journal wouldn't be possible. Their articles would also not be of the same quality. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anurag Bisen is my name. General Sani mentioned that a journal national security is second to none. And you also mentioned that it is not an academic journal, but focused more towards policy shapers and influencers. The fact that you put in so much of effort into the journalism, and its quality is actually second to none. Do you think that having it peer reviewed and having it Scopus indexed would add greater credibility and legitimacy and probably result in a wider circulation?
A good point. We've been thinking about linking it to Scopus, but that will require a review process, which we started. Actually, the journal was originally a reviewed journal, and we did have several of our articles reviewed by scholars, etc. The problem is, it's not easy to find very good reviewers. Not easy. Very sketchy reviews normally is to reach it. So, given our background, what we have, the expertise we have at the VIF, we normally are able to do far better reviews within our institute than what the reviewer normally brings to us. And so there is a review process here. I mean, it's not visible. An extremely strong review process goes on to bring about the final shape of the journal, of the article. And the author is made to look at various aspects and see, check whether that argument or that book or that particular essay or this new argument has been looked at and assessed. So it is for that reason that we, in between, did away with it. It also is time consuming at times. And we sometimes don't have the time. It is time related as well. So essay segment we don't give it for review. But the article segment could do with this review. We'll see what merit this Scopus will give us. If so, then we'll start the review process once again. But that has to be tightened, the right people to be found. And if we can manage all that, maybe which is basically a larger pool of research articles, will give us that ability to then meet the timeline. That is also. We'll try to let thinking.
Basically, as we mentioned in the beginning, it's a very serious matter. And it's about the policies. You see, when you talk about a certain policy, then you can either challenge it, you can endorse it, and you can add something to it. So you see, that is where the requirement comes in of choosing authors who have a deep knowledge about this. Whether it is geospecific, whether it is agriculture, whether it is geoeconomics. So the question is to come out with ideas which are not life-moving. See, I am not trying to be presumptuous and trying to impose the answer, but we take it ultimately the ideas we generate reach somewhere where they are not dismissed lightly. As very correctly said, so the peer review what happens is that it's a very lengthy process. But the fact that we go to policy, and each policy article, as I mentioned, challenges the prevalent Indian policy, endorses or adds to it. The point is that we hope if we are able to change the discourse, it's a very difficult thing to have. But must remember one thing, that the newspaper or journal to make sure that whatever the thinking of that organization gets into the mainstream. So there must be ideas which generate discussion, which generate, if you seriously ask me, debate, which generate discussions. And there are some possibilities. I think basically what we could do is a letter to the editors we could add. And hopefully then somebody who writes it will also write back. And that is something we can take letter to the editor. Somebody very strongly feels that whatever the article has been written he has something to add or subtract.
Yes, it was a very good session. You can think about it.
And I don't think this is late when we are ridiculous. But yes, privately and
So just to add to the conversation a bit, this time we have some very interesting articles that many of you who are interested in India's role in the world, how we have shaped the world. Now, very recently, and this of course our 13-volume work on India's history is also brought up. William Dalrymple's work on India, on Indian history and its contacts with the rest of the world, focusing on the knowledge system and how India's knowledge system spread far and wide and its influence spread and wide. And how what really was important was not the Silk Road as a trade route between India and the rest of the world, or Europe in particular, but the Golden Road, or the Golden Route that emanated from India and went to Rome on the one hand and into the Indo-Pacific, the Pacific side, right up to Japan on the other, and China on the other. And through it went our culture, our languages, our knowledge transfer, an enormous amount of knowledge from India was transferred throughout the world. This issue, for example, we have two very interesting articles in expanding this further. One is an article by one of our young scholars who has worked on Shaivism and Vaishnavism and how it spread to Southeast Asia and deeply shaped their cultural thinking and philosophies and writings, etc. Their architecture, the temples that came up, and the intermingling between India and Southeast Asian cultures that emerged from this. The other is another young historian who has written on the Malacca Strait and its dominance by these thalassocracies, that means maritime major powers. Now, it so happens that Hindu-Buddhist kingdoms began to rise in Southeast Asia from the 4th, 5th centuries onwards. And by the 8th centuries, they've grown up in such large numbers. In the 8th and 15th, the 14th, 15th century, Southeast Asia, particularly from Indonesia and Cambodia, Thailand, these large kingdoms began to dominate the entire trade routes, including the Malacca Strait. And with it went Indian culture, Indian language, Sanskrit, Brahmi script, Pali script, and that's how the Southeast Asian scripts, etc., were shaped, formed. Ramayana became a household epic in Southeast Asia as much as in India. New versions were written in Thailand called Ramakien, in Cambodia, the Khmers, in Indonesia. Major temples, larger temples than in India were brought up, as you know, in places like Ayodhya, etc. in Thailand. So Cambodia and Thailand and Indonesia became very major centers. So all of that is very well captured in this journal and this article, and in this cross-cultural flow that binds us to Western. I'm sure similar works can be done with India and Southeast, in West Asia, India and Central Asia, and India and Europe. So I encourage you, all of you, to read them, contribute to the journal if you have something of great importance to say, and contribute to our own knowledge system in a significant manner that can be shared with the rest of us.
Honor for me to welcome you to
We
this
have
discussion.
international
Apologies for
writers
the delay,
also
but
contributing here,
today's event
and
is
one
towards
Chinese
the
scholar based in Hong
India,
Kong
heralding
wrote an
new era
extremely
in
important
peace and
piece
governance published by
on
Rutgers.
Tibet
Today's events
uh,
bring together scholars,
that showed
practitioners, to
that
reflect on how
Tibet was
policies are
never
reshaping
conquered,
governance,
never
public
conquered,
administration, and relationship between the state and the
and never
This book launch
made part of
situates e-governance
any
not
Chinese
merely as a
dynasty
technological intervention,
till recently.
but
This
as
is
a
a new
transformative shift in the
flame
way
that has
government
come up
executes.
without any historical basis.
Allow me to
So if
introduce
you
you
give
to our august
kind
panel.
of
I'm deeply honored to
articles that bring
and
value and
introduce
added
Professor Dr. Charu
a great
Malhotra.
amount of knowledge to our
Professor Malhotra is a
system.
senior and lead coordinator for the
And
Center of
I
E-Governance
welcome
and
you
ICT
more
and
contributions
Indian
on those
Institute of
lines. But
Public
the introduction to the
Administration
world
with over
is
3
also
decades
important.
of
Our editorial
experience in
committee,
governance,
for example, editorial
artificial intelligence
board,
and privacy. She's made a significant
consultative board
contribution to our national
has
policy
members from South
We're
Africa
also
and
privileged
Nigeria,
to have Professor
recently
Rekha Saxena
expanded.
with us
We
today.
also have
Professor
Americans
Saxena
and
is a
Russians
senior
there,
professor and head of the Department of Political
and
Science at the
Japanese
University of Delhi, and a
scholars,
distinguished scholar
etc.
of federalism, political institutions,
So,
and constitutional
in
governance.
order to make this
Allow
an
me to introduce you
internationally
to our
oriented
authors. This book is being
journal.
launched today. Is being authored by two eminent scholars, Professor Sakina Bhai, Professor Kalindi College, University of Delhi. Is a leading scholar in public administration, public policy, and e-governance with more than 25 years of
So
experience.
with this, we bring the end of our discussion with you on the journal National Security, and I would like sincerely thank Dr. Gupta, Mr. Sani, and Professor Datta for taking the time out and coming and visiting here at the New Delhi Airport Fair. Thank you so much. We at Prince Publications are deeply obliged with your presence, and we look forward to more fruitful conversations in a more peaceful environment for the next time. And once again, thank you. A big round of applause for the VIIT team.
Sir, one small
In the same breath, may I please request Professor Nachiketa to felicitate Professor Rekha. May I please request both of our authors to please felicitate Mr. Amit Kumar and the House of Rutledge.
I would request everyone to please join for some tea and snacks.